So
Now,
really, we just need to know, like, where MR is, where the price curve is. Those are the main differences between these graphs.
these graphs.
Like, monopoly.
Well, yeah, you know what? You're right. Marginal revenue and demand is the difference.
Right, and then that, of
Perfectly
course,
competitive.
MC stays the same.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
your average, your marginal cost, your average total cost, your average variable cost, those cost structures don't change.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, those cost structures apply for all four firms.
So it's just MR.
It's marginal revenue and demand.
Okay.
Those are the differences. Okay. Now, so then that's what happens when these firms make a profit. Okay. In fact, we already got our oligopoly and our monopoly making profits. If they didn't make profits, they wouldn't do their thing, right? So then, when do we see when they need to when they're making a loss? All right. Well, then let's add that in here. I know it's a loss and not a shutdown loss because I'm just going to draw average variable cost way down here.
Okay, cool.
There's room for it there.
If average variable cost is not on the graph, are we supposed to know how to tell?
There's no way to tell. There's no way to tell if it's shutdown or loss if there's no average variable cost. So if there's average total cost and average total cost is above price, you can just go ahead and make the assumption it's a loss, but it's not shut down.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this would be a loss. All right. I'm going to connect those two because we need them both to make that determination, right? Okay. And our loss would be that distance right there. Okay. That vertical distance right there. That's a loss.
And this is still in the long run?
No.
So just-
The long run's only the black. Okay.
Okay.
So this would be
Short run.
short run profit. Okay, and then the red would be short run loss. Okay. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then over here, our short run loss would be and then I need to throw average variable cost in here somewhere. All right, there we go. So I'm just going to put that in here as well. So there's our loss. Okay. And the loss, the distance of the loss would be this. All right. That's our loss. Okay. And then shutdown, the nightmare scenario.
Oh no, it's blue.
Yeah, the purple's dead, so. Right? Notice I labeled it AVC3. I'm not putting average total cost up there, I don't need it. Because if my average variable cost is above my price, I've lost all my fixed plus some of my variable. Close the doors, let's go home. Same here. So that's shut down. All right. Cool. Yeah? Happy?
That's probably the easier part.
Yeah.
What is
Very
it?
much review.
Yeah, it's review.
Oh yeah, this is, I mean, that's all review. This is, all we really did here is just
Right.
make it a different graph.
Have we led into non-price competition yet?
No,
Not yet.
but let's talk
Alright.
about this, let's talk about this oligopoly graph for a minute.
Sure.
All right.
Oh, you need erasers.
So here's my my oligopoly graph, right? So if I raise my price, what does my competitor do?
Huh.
Yeah, he points some
Laughs
laughs
at
at
you.
me and like says, "What are you, like dumb?" Okay. So I mean, and after all, here's your profit. You raise your price thinking I'll make more profit. Well, what are you, greedy and stupid? So yeah, go ahead and raise your price. You raise your price. What do your customers do? They flock to the other guy, right? And when they flock to the other guy, you lose a whole bunch of consumers, and you don't pick up anything much in revenue. Okay, yeah, you raised your price, but you lost so many consumers it wasn't worth it. Okay?
Is there ever a case when you actually raise your price to a certain point, you lose a lot of customers, but that price makes up for the loss?
That would imply that the demand curve above that prior price was inelastic, and that's not the case.
Okay.
It's an elastic demand curve. Okay, effectively, because they have that other option, they're going to take it. Okay, and in fact, the truth is that demand curve becomes more elastic as we go to the top. Okay, that demand curve becomes even remarkably more elastic as we move toward the top left, because any change in quantity is a greater percentage, and any change in price is a smaller percentage. Right? So people's reaction to price is going to grow more extreme as that price rises even farther. So not likely. So here we raise our price in order to gain more revenue. What do? We lose all our customers to our competitors. So there you go. Goodbye. Wrong move. All right. So I think, all right, well then I'm dealing with an elastic demand curve. Cool, I can get on that. All right. So I'll lower my price and pick up a whole bunch of customers, right? Except you lower your price, and what does your competitor do? He lowers his price too. And you don't add a bunch of customers. You add some customers, yeah. Okay? Because there were people who weren't drinking soda before who decided they're going to drink soda now. Okay, maybe they drink more of it. Okay? But we're not going to add that many more customers. It's not going to be worth it to make that leap for folks. So, there you go. We've got an inelastic demand curve, or an inelastic demand curve below our current price level. So, is it worth it to compete with my competitor based on price? No. I just stay here. Okay? So then how do I compete with them? I don't want to change my price to pick up customers. I don't want to change my price to gain customers. I'm going to outmarket it to get more customers. I'm going to advertise and convince him that mine's better than his. I'm going to market my product with some other really successful product, McDonald's. I'm going to convince people that my product is the product that people who are really smart and intelligent, they're the ones who use that product. Or I'm going to tie my product to some other product in the way that it's used. Arm & Hammer baking soda. It's only a matter of time until Arm & Hammer baking soda is the only baking soda you can buy at the grocery store. It's almost there. Okay? The Arm & Hammer folks have been brilliant. They don't compete on price. They really don't. But what have they convinced us to do with Arm & Hammer baking soda? Tear a box open and leave it in a refrigerator. Tear a box open and leave it in the freezer. Tear a box open and pour it down your drain so that your drain doesn't stink. Really? That's their sales pitch. Buy a box and pour it down your drain. And people do it. Okay? It's brilliant. All right? It's fantastic marketing. Truth is, it also works. It actually has an effect. If you have like a stinky drain or something like that, okay, something funky in your drain trap, pour some baking soda down there and it'll like eat away at whatever it is that's down there and break it up a little bit and it'll flush it out. So, and works for bee sting. And that's why so many products are all about you can use my product. So many different things. Really,
It's
beyond
back
price
to
competition. So what?
the chef you were talking about with the kitchen. He uses one tool.
Oh yeah, Alton Brown. Yeah, Alton Brown. He's the king of multitaskers. He owns only one unitasker for his entire kitchen.
Right.
It's a fire extinguisher. Everything else has to do multiple things.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Good.
When it comes to like the how they do marketing instead of changing the price.
Yeah.
Well, with certain marketing, you can do coupons or something like that.
Yeah.
Is it a different story? Than
That's kind of weird. That's a fair question. If you're talking about coupons, that's really price changing.
Yeah.
Now, if it's a coupon tied to another product, like if you buy ours, we'll give you a coupon for that.
Right.
That's not really price competition. So there's a little bit of gray area there. But really, if you're talking about coupons, giveaways, lowering your price, that's all price competition.
So I was gonna say something in class when talking about Coke and Pepsi, but at Publix, it depends like what week it kind of like alternates in a way.
Mhm.
But they'll do a better deal for Coke one week, and the next week they'll come back with a better deal for Pepsi.
For Pepsi, yep.
Is that some kind of partnership, or is it just
It's certainly not Pepsi and Coke. They're not colluding,
right?
but it may be responsive. It may be Pepsi looking at Coke's deal and saying, you know what, we need to get in on that. We need to do that as well. I'll tell you right now, come Super Bowl time,
Because they're smaller firms.
they'll both be on sale.
Right.
And holidays, they'll both be on sale.
So what would
If
they
people are having parties, we want to be the drink that they're buying at party time.
And when two businesses collude, is it public? Like, is it going to be obviously colluded, or can it be
First of all, it's illegal, so it better not be obvious.
right?
But it's so rare, and it's so hard to prove. I mean, if two firms change their price structure at the same time, it's crazy to assume that they colluded. It's just crazy to assume that they colluded. But if the two firms, I mean, if they happen to collude, I mean, it's
Where do you?
right now airlines are a lot of airlines are raising their fares, but like by small amounts. We can point to it and say, hey, you know what, that's collusion. Yeah, but you know what, they're all experiencing those higher fuel costs and, you know, fewer people flying. So it's so hard to know.
So when it comes to collusion, really, what we need to know from tests is one, it's illegal. Two,
We don't really know that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's illegal, and if collusion happens, and here's the thing about collusion. This is the most important thing you know about collusion. If collusion happens,
It's possible.
somebody's going to cheat.
the
Because
whole
if all of us collude and charge a higher price for our product, just imagine the money available to the person who decides, I'm going to cheat. Because the cheater in the collusion, who's really just competing, that cheater in the collusion, boom, huge profits, massive profits. Right?
Maybe it's a stupid question, but the tables that we do now, like where it shows the two benefit,
Yeah.
are those like collusion tables?
Well, theoretically, yeah. Here's the benefit for you if you collude. Okay, yeah, except if we collude, we're playing our dominated strategy, and we run the risk of, okay, I'm going to price mine a little bit higher. Okay, good luck. See you, Tor. So, you know. Time to erase these things and do something else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll tell you what, it's so much monopoly, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff. There's really not anything.